Hello, Usman. Nice to see you.
Hello, hi Ed.
Usman, a few weeks ago, you called me from where you are in Dakar, Senegal, to say there's a revolution happening. And you were very animated and keen to tell me about this. Um, can you tell me what it was like to witness those events?
Yeah, it was very scary to be honest, because since I was born and I'm now hitting the 40s very soon, I'd never experienced such an event, and a lot of the political analysts have basically described this as never happened since independence, only recalling 1968, but still, most of them agreeing that it wasn't even at this scale. It was literally a lot of burning, a lot of people outside in the street. You would never have thought that this is the Senegal that is known internationally as, a peaceful country, a democratic country where people actually talk to find solution around a table and not in the street. And basically, what had happened was the main opposition guy, Usman Sonko, was accused of rape, obviously a private matter. But very soon you realize that it was more than just a private case, because a few names had emerged that they were helping the woman who'd accused him of rape, and then many clues leading into people who are in power, and very soon you realize, okay, what's going on here? They weren't going to let the state just get rid of this guy this easily. That they were going to defend him to make sure that he gets a fair trial and that the state would not be involved in that.
Yeah.
And people just basically went out in the street and started burning, started basically breaking anything. The interesting thing in there is they started burning and breaking things that were mostly affiliated with France and French interests.
Is that because of the colonial relationship that Senegal has had towards France and the fact that there is still not proper economic freedom from the pressures of French capital?
Exactly, and that's just a good summary. France, as a country, and these French investors have, remained in this country, and they still have a strong hold of the economy. The main telecommunication company is owned by the French at more than 60%. A lot of the supermarkets are still owned by French investors. But beyond that, the petrol, the fishery still managed and being sold by the European Union, not just French, but still it's the same. So all of that has just been creating throughout the years a lot of frustrations and people thinking, but what about us? What about us? Why is everything been given to the French? And when this happened, they just went on to basically show all of the anger they've been accumulating for the last decades.
Are most of Sonko's supporters young people?
Yes, he basically is kind of representing the younger generations who are very fed up with the old establishment, who are fed up with this politics where everything is done with France, and a little contribution is brought from within Senegal, and they basically want change, and they just don't want any kind of change. They want real change. They basically want any contract that's being signed, that it is signed from the Senegalese perspective, that Senegalese interest becomes the heart of any decision that's being made, rather than what they perceived right now as these people just being put here by their collaborators from France or any other country, and then when they come to power, work with them rather than work with the Senegalese people and trying to work for their interests.
Now, Usman, you told me that quite quickly after a few days, this movement died down and people stopped protesting on the streets. What's it like now? Have things gone back to what they were, or has political consciousness changed?
From my perspective, I don't think much has changed, because very, very soon the president and the people in power realize how crazy the whole thing could be, and how big it was, and how frustrated people were. And therefore they came up with the right message. Now, whether they are going to follow up with actions is another matter, but they definitely came with the right message as to, we have heard you, we are going to do this, we are going to do that. And also, but even beyond that, the whole religious establishment also got involved and called both parties and asked the youth to go back to their homes, and that they were going to talk to power. I think it only took 3 days of burning and fighting in the street before people went back to start talking. And in a way it's a shame, because that means it's just another set of promises, and they are not going to actually go back to doing what they need to do. Actually, a day ago, the president launched again another massive program to enhance and give youth jobs, which is just another promise. Every 2 or 3 years, it's the same. But again, the youth are there. They are struggling. They are fighting. They don't have much opportunity. They all want to leave the country to go to Europe. And again, another set of promises that is going to just make them go back home, wait again, even more frustrated. It's just like putting everything back under the carpet, knowing that it's going to come back again.